Hi, my name is Jess, and today we're going to be cooking buffalo macaroni and cheese using the Instapot, which is a pressure cooker. We have a cup's worth of celery stalks. We have a cup's worth of carrots. Both are already chopped and they were frozen. We have some chopped yellow onion with about 4 cloves minced garlic. 2 cups of chicken broth or stock. I think I had broth on hand, so I think that's what's in there. And then we got hot sauce, and I really like buffalo mac hot, so I add a tablespoon's worth of hot sauce. You can start off with a teaspoon and then add it to your taste later, but I know using this recipe that I like it hot, so I'm going to use a tablespoon's worth. And a secret to making the macaroni and cheese yellow like you see in the Kraft macaroni and cheese box, I add turmeric. I add about a 1/4 teaspoon's worth of turmeric to make it yellow. And I have a 1/4 teaspoon of chipotle powder because I really like chipotle and it adds a nice smoky flavor to the buffalo mac. Have about a 1.5 cups worth of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. Bacon that was cooked this morning and chopped and ready to go. You can always add chicken or pulled barbecue pork. I've even done frozen chicken nuggets in a pinch and just chopped them up to throw them in. Any kind of protein you like, or you can do it without protein. Have cream cheese, whole box of shells because cheese and shells are the best. You can use whatever noodles you have on hand or anything that you prefer. And then we also have some ranch seasoning mix. It's dry mix. I'm going to be using a tablespoon's worth of this. And that's all the ingredients to start. So first I added some of that bacon grease that I made earlier with the bacon. I added probably like a tablespoon's worth to the pot so that I can saute the carrots and celery as well as the onions with. So on the Instapot there is a saute feature. So it's as simple as clicking a button and it's going to say, okay, I'm going to saute for 30 minutes. If you need more, you're going to have to re-hit it. And it'll beep once it's ready to go. And now it's heating up. You can also do this on the stovetop if you don't have an Instapot or a pressure cooker. It's just as simple as starting a pot of water based on the directions of your box for your noodles. And then while the water's boiling, you can saute all the vegetables and stuff while that's going. So what I love about the Instapot is that I can do it all in one pot and not have to dirty anything. So other than the one pot. So we're gonna throw the carrots in, throw the celery in, and I'm just gonna heat those up quickly, get those started because they were frozen and carrots can be tough. So I just wanna make sure that I give them the time that they deserve. Carrots and celery. Pot's gonna be starting to heat up. Soon we'll hear it sizzling. It kind of takes a moment or two, just kind of like it would on a skillet. So I'm just gonna kind of let that kind of start going, and I'm gonna just constantly kind of stir it every once in a while to make sure that nothing gets burnt. And I will be adding the onions in after this gets a little bit of time. You can see some nice steam coming off the frozen vegetables as the pot is heating. What else did I say? Yeah. It's a nice quick little meal. It will only take about, so probably with prep of chopping, measuring, and getting everything ready for the pot. And the pot, it'll probably take about 4 or 5 minutes to cook. So this is probably about a 30 to 45 minute meal total, which is really nice. Quick for those week nights or cold nights where you don't feel like going out and eating or doing any other kind of prep. You just want something quick after the work week day. All right, we hear it sizzling. to see some moisture from the vegetables be released, and that's totally fine. It's all going to be used up in our one pot meal here. So you don't have to worry about draining or anything like that. But of course, if you make this on the stovetop, or if you're sauteing it on the stovetop, that's something you would probably want to remove later. Drain it. See how rough. Carrots feel like they're getting pretty well, a little bit softer. I think also freezing them kind of helps. If you have raw carrots, you may want to saute them a lot longer. You want to be able to kind of feel a little bit of a give when you push it with your wooden spoon. Otherwise, if they're raw, you know, it just will take a little bit longer, and you don't want to have too much of a crunch when you make this meal. But at the same time, crunch is not so bad. And you may be wondering, why celery and carrots? Well, when you have buffalo wings, that's typically what they serve on the side. And this is kind of a adult version of macaroni and cheese, so we have to incorporate some sort of vegetables and get our vitamins and minerals and nutrition. Alright, so we are doing pretty good here. I think I'm going to add our minced garlic and chopped yellow onion. If you're in a pinch and you don't have like a yellow onion or garlic on hand, you can definitely use a tablespoon's worth of garlic powder and a tablespoon's worth of onion powder. Definitely done that before in my life. I had onion on hand and garlic, so I'm just going to saute these guys. I don't saute them too much because when they're going to be in the pressure cooker is definitely going to cook them pretty high, and I don't want them to be completely gone in the meal. I just want them to be there and translucent and a good flavor of onion and garlic. So I'm just going to cook them enough until they start sweating, and just kind of start to build the flavor profile along with the carrots and the celery. So I'm just going to give them a minute or two here on the saute mode. Oh, look at all these vegetables. Makes you feel so healthy for eating macaroni and cheese. Now the veggies are starting to get a good sweat on. The carrots are giving way when I press on them. Start to get a little bit of an indent from the spoon. So things are looking pretty well here. I'm just gonna push all the onions that kind of gotten a little carried away on the sides down. So I'm going to cancel the saute mode and shut that off. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to take our box of noodles. And I'm going to add the whole thing to the Instapot. Right on top of the vegetables. This prevents the noodles from burning to the bottom of the pot while it cooks. I'm going to take our 2 cups of chicken broth and pour that in to the pot. And I'm going to take our turmeric, chipotle powder, and tablespoon's worth of hot sauce and put that into the pot as well. All right. And I'm going to need more water for the noodles. You want to make sure that there is enough water covering the noodles in the pot before you cook it. And the reason why I add broth, some people, you can definitely make this without broth or stock. If you don't have that on hand, you can definitely do it with water. But I find that the chicken stock or broth adds a little bit more flavor to it, to the noodles while they cook. So I add it. I'm going to stir this now, so it'll make some noise as you can hear the shells playing in there. And I probably need, I would say, about another 2 cups worth of water. So I am going to add some water to it. Un momento. Okay. So I thought about 2 cups. Let's see if that is what I need. All right, I'd say about another cup's worth of water and we'll be ready to rock. So as I mentioned, you want to make sure that you have most of the noodles covered with water. You don't want total standing water over your noodles in the pot. I'm sorry, I have a cuckoo clock. All right. So, to kind of wrap up what we did here, we have sauteed the carrots, celery, onions, garlic. And then we added our hot sauce, our turmeric, our chipotle powder seasoning, 2 cups of chicken broth, about 3 cups worth of water, and a whole box of noodles. And so I'm going to close the lid. And then I'm going to make sure that our valve is sealed by pressing it to the left. And the thing with the pressure cooker, it cooks noodles in half the time that it says to cook noodles on the stovetop at boiling water. So according to the box here, it says to boil 14 to 15 minutes or to desired tenderness. So I am going to do 7 minutes since it takes about 14 to 15 minutes. You can do 7 or 8 minutes, but I'm just going to do 7 minutes. So I'm going to press manual, which puts it at high pressure. And it'll start it off at 30 minutes, and I'm just going to click it all the way down to 7. And I'm going to let it do its thing. So it's going to beep when it's ready to go. And it'll count down from 7 while it comes to pressure and cooks at high pressure for 7 minutes. Right? And then we'll be back for the end of the steps of the Buffalo Mac.